Hello and welcome back from Thanksgiving break. Today you're going to be working on your own while I call people up and try to help them with a couple of mistakes that I've been finding in their work. So the first thing you need to do is complete your bell work, and here are your questions. And the converting fractions number 2 is from unit 1, and this is from question number 1 is from our last unit. When you have completed these, bring your paper to me so I can check you off and send you back to finish working on your own. Today's lesson is going to be on 3.5, proportional versus non-proportional. I'm not spending a lot of time on this. You're not going to have an assignment that goes with this. Basically, the examples I give you on the next page will be your credit for this, because this is just a quick synopsis of when something's proportional versus non-proportional. So everything that we do in this column right here is going to be, let me get my pen out. Everything we do in this column right here is going to be proportional. Any notes over here means that it's non-proportional. So to be proportional, there's a couple of things that we're going to look for. So the first thing is, the first step on if it gives you a table to see if it's proportional, it's the same thing. We're going to divide each y value by its assigned x value. If all the answers, so as we divide, if all the answers are the same or equivalent, it is proportional. So these are our y's. Y's will always be listed second. So we would do 2.5 divided by 1 equals 2.5. 5 divided by 2 equals 2.5. 7.5 divided by 3 equals 2.5. And our last one, 10 divided by 4 equals 2.5. These are all the same. So that is how you can tell it's proportional, which means if the answers are different, so as we divide each y value by the x value and we get a different answer, it is non-proportional. Proportional means it stays the same each time. So if it's non-proportional, like on this one, if we take 3.5 and divide it by 2, we're going to get 1.75. So to be proportional, all of the rest of our answers need to come out as 1.75. But if we take 4.5 or 4.50 and divide it by 6, we're going to get 0.75. As soon as it's different, you can stop. It's non-proportional. So that's from a table. The next thing we're going to look at is when they give it to a graph. I think the graph is the easiest because it's just literally, the last two are the easiest. The table requires the most work. So looking at a graph, there's two things that make it proportional. Number one, it has to pass through the origin, which we should know is 0, 0. It has to do that, and it can't just be one or the other. It has to be the and be linear, which means a straight line. So this one passes through the origin and it's a straight line. It doesn't matter if it goes up, down, it just has to be through the origin and a straight line. Where this one is a straight line, so it can be linear, but it will not pass through 0, 0. You can see it never passed through there, so this is why it's a no. So you can just look at those ones and tell. And if there's any curve to it, automatically not linear, because linear, again, that keyword there means line. So if it's not a line, then it's no. On the equation form, there's two that you'll have. You'll have one that is mx, and if it goes through the 0 or our origin, they're not going to put anything here. If it starts anywhere other than 0, it's going to be with that plus b right there. So if it's written with no plus b, because it passes through 0, 0. So an example would be y equals 2x. So this means it starts at 0 and we go up 2 to the right 1, up 2 to the right 1. Or This one is not because it has a plus b. means it's starting somewhere other than, 0, 0. Passes the y-axis somewhere other than 0, 0. So an example of this one might be y equals negative 4x plus 6. So it starts passing through that y-axis right there. So that's what our lesson's on today. What I want you to do is take some time and fill these in. So I'll do 1, 2, and 3 with you, and then you're gonna answer the rest on your own. So I can look at this. So from a graph, I come back up here to my graph, and it says, if it's proportional, it needs to pass through the origin, and it has to be a straight line. So come back down here. This one does not pass through the origin, so this is non-proportional, and for my reason, doesn't pass through origin. Or 0, 0. Now our next one, we got to start dividing. So I'm just going to do 12 divided by 6. That's 2. 10 divided by 5. That's 2. 8 divided by 4. That's 2. 6 divided by 3. That's 2. Because my notes up here say, start by dividing each y value by the assigned x value. All of our answers came out the same because they all came out as 2, which means this is proportional. So you could just put something like, yes, every y divided by x equaled 2, or something like that. Or every y divided by x was the same, whatever you want to write. And then on this one now, it's an equation. So I come back up here, and we should be able to tell. This passes, or my y-intercept begins at negative 8. So right away I should know this is non-proportional, because it starts at 8. Or, actually, I'm going to change it. I'm going to say the y-intercept is negative 8. So it does not go through 0, 0. All right, now you need to do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 on your own. Decide if they're proportional or non-proportional. So the next thing that as I've looked over, the reason that today we're spending some time reviewing is because as I've looked over some things, I've really seen the problems with your equations. I don't know how else to get you guys to remember your formula. It's something that you need to remember. And some of you guys don't have a problem with it. So I sat in bed one night, because I mean, who doesn't just love thinking about math all the time? Thinking of a way that you could remember it. And I don't know, maybe some of you will be like, you're crazy. And I am, that's okay. But others of you might say, oh, that actually helped me. So I'm gonna sing it to the tune of Jingle Bells. So it says, rate of change, finding slope is fun. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Some of you are still putting your x's on top. So rate of change, finding slope is fun. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And that's because slope and rate of change mean the same thing. Rate of change, finding slope is fun. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So hopefully that helps you. So now your goal is you have 8 questions that I want you to apply your formula to here. 6 of which you'll have to use your formula. 7 and 8, remember, you're drawing your triangles. So decide where slope dude's standing and make sure if he's standing going down, your triangle goes down first and then over. If he's standing where he's walking up, your triangle should go up first. So that's a review of your finding slopes. The next thing I'm going to want to sing to you is my slope-intercept song. And it's going to go to, there was a farmer who had a dog. It goes, slope-intercept form requires slope and y-intercept. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. Replace the m and b. Slope-intercept form requires slope and y-intercept. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. Replace c, m and b. You have to know when it says write it in slope intercept form, you need to write the equation. And some of you guys on your quiz, your mastery check, didn't. You just wrote slope. Some of you couldn't even find slope, and that's why I was like, we've got to spend a little bit more review on this. So I know my songs are amazing. So our B is the y-intercept, and that is crucial that you know this. So we're looking for where does this, if we were to plot all of these points, if you were to plot negative 10 and 5, negative 5, 7, 0, 9, 5, and 11, one of those points would end on our y-axis. So we're looking for the one where x is 0. This is the number that I need right there. And you'll notice this one has an x is 0, but number 2 doesn't. So these are the ones where you have to figure out what I need x to equal 0. X has to equal 0. So we're looking for when x is 0, what is this y right here? This is the value that you're looking for. Again, find where x is 0. These ones are easy because you're looking for where does that line cross my y-axis? Where does my line cross my y-axis? So you're looking for where your line crosses that y-axis. And then down here, it should be written in y equals mx plus b, y equals mx plus b, y equals mx plus b. Replace the m and b. So this is our slope, our rate of change, and this is our y-intercept, where we grab the line at the y-axis. So take a minute and do those ones. All right, the last thing that we practiced, and then you're going to get your actual assignment to this. Nobody has done this assignment. I know B-Day may think that they did 3.4, but it did not link to the right assignment. So you guys actually just got some more practice on writing in slope-intercept form. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a few of these, and then you'll notice on your accountability paper, it says log on to Canvas and complete assignment 3.4. And so you'll have to do that. And then I'll get to that in a minute. So there's two things we need. We need to find our m. Remember, y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b. Replace the m and b. So this is my rise. This is my run. My b is my y-axis. So in other words, it's saying this is where you want to start. So I'm starting at 0, 5. So I'm starting right here. My slope tells me to rise 2 and run 3. But if we do that, we're off the grid. So I need to change it. This is where we talked about similar or equivalent slopes. So negative 2 over negative 3, if you put it in your calculator, it's going to come out as 2/3 because a negative divided by negative is a positive. So we, instead of going up 2 and to the right 3, we're going to go down 2, left 3, plot my point. Down 2, left 3, plot my point. And then I would draw my line through there. So y equals mx plus b. Well, this is that invisible 1, so my slope would be 1 over 1, both positive, so up and right. And my starting point, do not forget your sign in front. My starting point starts at negative 4. And my slope says, from here we're going to go up 1 to the right 1. Up 1 to the right 1, 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 up 1 to the right 1. That gave me the top half. I could also go negative 1 over negative 1, which is down and left, which would give me the other side of that, and then I could draw my line through there. These ones tend to be tricky for you because there's not a plus b. Y equals mx plus b. We just did this with what I talked about at the very beginning of this, where we have our m, which is our slope, so that one's easy. What is the only thing I can add to this that's not going to change it? I can't change anything. And so it would be 0, which means it's proportional. So it's starting right here at my origin, going up and right. So I go up 1, right 4. Up 1, right 4. I could also make them both negative and go down and left. Always going back to our beginning point, down 1, left 4. And I can't, I did that wrong. up 1 over 4. I don't know why I went 2. And then down 1 over 4. Now, if you weren't here before Thanksgiving when I taught lesson 3.4, you should have watched that before you're here today. If not, you have some catch up to do. You guys got to take responsibility for your learning. All right, again, y equals mx plus b. So here's my m. We talked about rewriting this. They're always going to write it the most correct way with the negative out in front. Your job is to either put the negative on top, and then you're going to switch it and put the negative on bottom. No matter what I'm starting, again, this is my starting point, 0, -2, right here. My slope here says to go down and to the right, because the down is negative, so down, and positive is my run, so I'm running to the right, because that's where my positive numbers are. You'll notice I cannot go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be like right here. And then I would go over 3, which would put me at a point about right there. That one's off the grid, so that's why you have to realize that this negative can go either place. It doesn't matter. There's one negative sign here, one negative sign here, one negative sign. I only have one negative sign. So now this says instead of going down, I'm going to go up. Instead of going right, I'm going to go left. So I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and left 1, 2, 3. And then I could, and you could see if I kept going, it would go through there. All right, so y equals mx plus b, y equals mx plus b. Replace the m and b. So this again tells me to start at 0, 4. Your x is always 0. So what's the y value when your x is 0? It should always be on the y-axis there. Remember that if there's not anything underneath it, put a 1. So this is telling me to go up and to the right. So I go up 3. Oh, I can't. I'm out of space. So then I'm going to change it and make them both negative, because a negative divided by a negative will give me the same thing. So instead of going up, I'm going to go down. Instead of going right, I'm going to go left. So now it says go down 3. So I went down 3 to the right, or sorry, to the left 1. Down 3 again. 1, 2, 3 to the left 1. Down 3 again, left 1. And finally, starting point, slope. So I'm going to start at 0, 1, down 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, to the right 1. I can't go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so it'd be about right there probably. Whoops, and I can't draw a straight line, and that's what you have. Okay, so now your paper says to, after this checkbox, it says graph lines using slope-intercept form, review. That was me reviewing it. Your next box on your paper should say log on to Canvas and complete assignment 3.4. No one has completed this. Like I said, even though some of you on B-Day think you've done this, you have not. And then what percent of assignment 3.4 did you complete? If you completed 100%, you don't have homework. But you'll notice that it's highlighted. It says if you did not complete any part of this sheet, it is homework. So you will need to go home and do that.